Trick or treat, smell my feet, give me something good to eat, Survivor Buffs. It's me, your friendly neighborhood ghost, Toby, and on behalf of the Buff Headwear Company, I want to welcome you to my recap of the first 6 weeks of Survivor 29, San Juan del Sur, Blood versus Water 2. And we are a week before the merge. We had a tribe shift already, 6 people have been voted out, and we have seen some scary things so far in Survivor. We've seen a tree that has deadly sap. We've seen a tribe that has such bad luck they can't win a challenge. And we've seen those baboons. Don't get me started on the baboons. They will take your soul, take your money, and maybe eat all your rice if your tribe doesn't do it first. But what are the scary things that each of the survivors had to deal with? I thought I'd take a look. So come with me, enter if you dare. This thing is hot. Ooh, Lord, child. One of the favorite ideas in horror movies that we see often is the idea of a haunting. Something coming back and just possessing your life or making it awful. And that actually shows up in different ways and has shown up this season on Survivor. When you arrive to this game, nobody knows you. So if you happen to have any sort of background that people know, that could come to hurt you. As it did the first evictee, Nadia, who was voted out based on her actions on The Amazing Race, which were, her and her sister were kind of annoying. And by kind of, I mean really annoying. So, the twinny, badass, twinny, yup bro, oh, I cannot with that. The tribe had nothing really going on with anybody, but they remembered her from The Amazing Race. And so that led to her demise. I think that Natalie will not suffer the same fate. I think now she's been in the game long enough that she, has proven herself as a Survivor player versus an Amazing Race twinnie. So great, and I'm actually liking Natalie by herself way more than I like the two of them together. So I actually don't mind that. And of course, famously, Natalie actually led to the eviction of John Rocker by bringing up things in his past. That awful article in which he hated homosexuals and all these minorities in New York, and an attitude which carried forward in his actions on the website today, much as he tried to deny it. But he did not do these things on the show. They were brought up, but then his reaction, current day reaction, is really what clinched his fate. Again, things from the past come back to haunt you. But usually this happens in the beginning of the game when people have nothing else to go on. Now they have 6 episodes, 18 days worth of actual interactions with people, and so we'll see how these things come to haunt them. In Baylor's case, her actions in the past, they keep being brought up, but she's still on top. So it just really depends how what you've done, people really believe, like other people say about what you've done, and also how much they think they could change you or just can use you anyway. One thing we have to know is that the Coyopa tribe, or anybody with the Coyopa tribe name, is haunted by the failures of their past. They cannot win a challenge. It's really, really sad. They switch it up, still can't win a challenge. The one challenge they win drew through, so we don't really know if they won it fair and square. I just think that name is cursed and haunted. So they're probably pretty happy that we're going to be going into the merge. Because, when things come back to haunt you, when things come back to bite you in the butt, there's just a reason that you get shocked. In horror movies, there's generally a person who is going to be brave and go and try to get help or try to be stand up to whatever, and they get killed real easily. And this season is very interesting on Survivor because there are a lot of these sort of game players who are putting themselves out there in big ways. And I think a lot of them should be scared of doing that because it hasn't always worked. Val, had 2 idols. Couldn't just have one idol as her bluff. They had to have 2. Just took it too far, and it was a huge reason why she was out. She was also out because of the actions of Jeremy, her husband, who had to be aggressive and had to be the first one to go into some challenge. Of course they're going to pit you against your loved one. That's it's fairly obvious. And so it just turned out it's why not wait and see what happens the first week and then know what's going on. We saw it again with Drew, the dumbass, who threw a challenge only to get evicted himself. And we're beginning to see it with his brother, who is a lesser Drew. He's not, so bad as Drew, but people are thinking, they're comparing him to Drew. He looks like Drew, and he kind of acts like Drew. It's a problem. People are not finding that balance necessarily between putting themselves out there and, still getting things done. And Dale also kicked out for the same reason, so don't be in charge of the rice for 2 seconds. Don't be that guy. Leading to his and his Kelly's demise. Too often, these people that are too aggressive, they go out there and try to go kill the monster, kill the zombie, end up being the first ones killed. And so if I was one of those people, I'd be scared of that. But it doesn't always happen. And so it would be interesting to see that in this new dynamic, to see how much people continue to put themselves out there now that we're in a single person game, where it's not a team game, and to see how much that comes to bite them in the butt or get their head chopped off. And now, Survivor Buffs, I must admit, one of my favorite Survivor Buff looks ever. What? I woke up like this. I woke up like this. Anyway, I'm clearly in the middle of getting ready for my Halloween costume, but I wanted to go ahead and finish talking to you about what's going on with our show before I take the set down. And so that's what I'm going to do. Let's talk about the players that are still in and the things that they should be scared of, besides not looking as fierce as me. We have 4 sets of couples in the game, and they need to sort of watch out and make sure that they stay together as couples and don't get infiltrated by the single people. The single people should be scared of these couples. That's twice as many votes as they have, and they go on a run. So single people need to not be so much a voting block, but go individually and try to become swing votes and things like that. Because as a voting block, unless the couples are not wary of what's going on, but we already know that they are, that doesn't make any sense. The gay boys, love them. Hopefully they like my outfit. They are doing really well. But now we're going into where the game is individual, and doing so well is not the best thing ever that you want to be done. So, they might want to. I think they've made it really far now because sometimes I think maybe it's hard to identify them as a couple. They're on separate tribes. They don't look alike. They have. It's hard to identify boyfriend and girlfriends. It's also hard to identify boyfriend and boyfriends. So I think that they've. Reed especially has flown under the radar, but with his great performance this past week, and with him being together with Josh and sort of getting back on Jeremy's radar, they could have put a target on their backs. But then again, so could have John and Jacqueline, who are also doing very well in this game. The problem is that both Reed and Josh are very physically fit and good at the challenges, and that could pose a problem when it comes to individual immunities. So there's lots of things for everyone to watch out for and be scared of happening. It's really interesting to see what alliances form and how the single people and the couples all relate, and if the same thing happens as what happened last Blood versus Water, and couples just start getting broken up. Now, in horror movies, have you ever noticed that it's always like one you don't suspect, the quiet one who's off doing something, who turns out to either solve the case or be the killer? Well, this is happening here in Survivor 2. There are a couple people who have flown under the radar and continue to fly under the radar. And there's really 2 people in particular. And they're related. Keith and Wes. Keith came up and tried to do something against Jeremy and had that backfire in his face. And now, because he's the only single guy in a tribe of couples, has just been really laying low and just trying to not, do anything, not rock the boat, and keep his, immunity idol that he has, that nobody knows that he has. I mean, this is like really, really, really important. People always reveal that somebody has an immunity idol. He has not. He really has a secret in his back pocket. He's about to get reunited with his son Wes, who has had so little screen time, except when he was beating his dad in the challenge. And it's just very soft-spoken. But if you look at all the challenges, it's very confident. And I think he seems to be very well liked. And I think could really, take it really far. These 2 are the ones to watch, because I gotta tell you, the scariest person is the one who you don't see coming. And I have a feeling a lot of them aren't going to see Wes coming. So that's just what I think. I think that Jacqueline, Wes, Keith, maybe Josh, those are some people to really watch out for. However, I also thought that Dale was going to do well, and he's out already, so who am I to predict anything? All I know is that coming up, we have an exciting merge happening in which we got 4 couples, 4 single people, and who knows what's going to happen. And let me tell you, that, if I was a player, would be the scariest thing of all. Yes, it does take a lot of time to look this good. Well, that'll do it. That's all I have to do this time of my video blog. I'm on my way, obviously, to some Halloween festivities. Could you imagine if I wasn't? Like, I'm just hang out here at home. Anyway, before I go though, I do want to name some wearers of the weeks. And these two people wore their individual tribe buffs in a reward challenge. And it's Reed for Hunaphu and Baylor for Coyopa, and they wore them over their eyes as blindfolds, demonstrating the versatility of these tribe buffs. And hopefully providing a little bit of padding and cushioning when they put it in their heads. It was an interesting challenge, which Reed won, and however, Baylor, you also will join Reed to win an award, Wearers of the Weeks. Well, that'll do it for this recap of weeks 1 through 6, the pre-merge weeks of Survivor San Juan del Sur, Survivor Blood versus Water 2. On behalf of the Buff Headwear Company, I want to thank you for watching this video blog and encourage you to go to their website and check out my written recaps there, and also find out about their whole array of amazing products, which are not just for summer and outdoors. They have great scarves and stuff for winter, so go check them out. Also, go to my website, tobyblackwell.com, or to my YouTube page, username Navy Singer, or to both, and find out more about the foolishness I'm getting into, including more pictures of what this look ended up eventually looking like tonight. In the meantime, everyone have a happy Halloween, don't scare too many people, and make good